honestly, semester at sea can be really expensive, but it does not have to be. I picked up some great tips after going through my semester abroad, and I'm going to share them all with you right now so that you can save as much money as possible for your semester at sea experience. Okay, so I've split up these tips into 3 categories, which are how to lower your tuition costs, how to finance your trip and save money beforehand, and how to save money while you're traveling in country. So, like and subscribe if you'd like to support my channel, and comment down below which tips are the most helpful for you. Now, let's get into the tips. So the first and easiest way to lower your tuition costs is to apply for scholarships. There are honestly a ton of scholarships through semester at sea, and they're really easy to apply for. So there are merit scholarships that you can apply for, which look at your grades and look at your answer to the questions they ask you, and I got $1,000 off my trip just for having good grades. There's diversity-based scholarships, there's scholarships based on certain majors, so if you're a journalism major, I think that there's one where you can write a column for your college newspaper when you get back, and you get money for doing that. There's something called the Impact Cohort, where you apply to be a part of this, and then you and that group of people do service outreach projects and community service in I think 2 countries, and you get money for doing that. And then there's alumni scholarships, where there's just a ton of alumni willing to give money to people to promote semester at sea. So for those, you just have to answer the questions they have for you, which can be like, what is the country you're most looking forward to? And then prove that you have the need for the money, and you might get those scholarships as well. So there's honestly, I think there's like 20 or more just scholarships through semester at sea, and then even more alumni ones. So apply for as many as you can, as many as apply to you, and that will lower your tuition costs dramatically. Another way that you could potentially lower your tuition costs would be to check with your home college about the scholarships that they give out for study abroad programs as well. So you can make the case that you're going to bring back a heightened awareness of cultural differences to your campus, and they might help you out also. So you could get scholarships from both ends, which would be awesome. I know for a fact that this is possible for students that go to Colorado State University, since this is the school that semester at sea is based through. So they will get lower tuition for sure, because there's scholarships that they can get from Colorado State as well. Another way that you can lower your semester at sea costs before going on the voyage is to apply for a room that fits your budget. So there's different prices for rooms depending on if you get an outside double, inside triple, or outside triple. So the most expensive one is an outside double, and that means you're going to be living with one other person and that you're going to have a window. And the least expensive one is an inside triple, so that's living with 2 other people and no window. Now, if you apply late, there might not be the cheaper rooms left, so you might be stuck with an outside double, but if you apply early, I think that you'll be able to get the room that you want that fits your budget. And honestly, the difference between the outside double and the inside triple, like cost-wise, is like $8,000 or like $10,000. Like, I'm serious, it's crazy, guys. So apply for the one that fits your budget and just hope you get the one that you want. However, if you get motion sick really easily, you might actually want a room with a window, so an outside double or an outside triple, so you can keep an eye on the shoreline and not feel as sick. So keep that in mind. There are also student employment opportunities on the ship, and again, you apply for these beforehand. And I think that you work about 2 hours a day every day we are at sea, but there's some super fun options and even ones that will look good on your resume later on. So what is there to lose? I think that you get $4,000 off tuition for working as a student on the ship, and that can really help. You can work at the IT desk, you can be a library assistant, you can work at the writing desk, or as a student activities coordinator, or you can work with the photography and video team. So if any of those sounded cool, be sure to apply for that. And if after all of that, this trip is still too expensive for you and you can demonstrate financial need, you can contact your advisor and ask about cheaper room options that are available but are not advertised. So after all of the scholarship awards come out, you can say that you are struggling and that you need more help, and they might point you towards cheaper room options. And these are actually really small and have no windows and are closer to the crew cabins, but this is an option for you and a way to have the trip be cheaper. Okay, so let's move on to financing beforehand. Probably the easiest way to raise money for this trip is to ask your friends and relatives for your birthday and for Christmas to not give you gifts, but instead to give you money to put towards this trip. And if you do that for the full year, you can probably have enough money to cover most of your in-country travel, which is awesome. My next tip is to set a realistic budget for yourself. Now, it's not really realistic to say that you're going to spend only $100 in each country because you might not stick to that and then you're going to beat yourself up for not doing so. But at the very least, set an amount that you're going to spend on souvenirs and do not go over that per country. Because I know people on my trip that literally spent thousands of dollars, like honestly thousands of dollars on souvenirs, and that's just not really necessary. You can still have all the memories and bring back cheaper souvenirs. Like I got a postcard from every country I went to and they're all hanging up on my wall in my dorm room, and that is so fun for me to look at, and it literally cost me like 20 cents in each country. So do something like that and don't spend all your money all at once on souvenirs. Also, pack lightly because this will save you money up front on baggage fees. So make sure that both of your bags are under the 50-pound limit, which honestly shouldn't be that hard to do. So put all of your clothes in one bag and then all of your toiletries and snacks and things that you're going to use up while you're on the ship in another. So when those are used up and empty from being on the ocean, you can put your souvenirs in that bag and ship them back with you, and it will stay under the 50-pound limit because you used up the heavy things like shampoo and conditioner. This will save you money in a way that most people don't even think about, and it will ensure that you don't overpack and don't overspend on your trip. If you'd like to see my advice on packing, I will link those videos down below, and be sure to watch one of them after this one. Now let's move on to my most important tips, which is how to travel in-country for cheap. I think that my best tip when you're traveling in-country is to plan things for yourself. So when you get into Semester at Sea, they're going to give you a login to a page where you have all of your important stuff, like payments, but it's also going to have a list of all of the programs that they offer while you are in country. And these can range to like day trips, like city tours, or to overnights in the Sahara Desert. So like really cool things like that. But if you're in a country where you know that public transportation is safe and there's a ton to do in the city that you're going to, do not sign up for these trips. Semester at Sea can charge you like $200 for a 6-hour like city walking tour when you can literally get off the ship on your own and find one for free, or look up the best sites and the best facts about those places and then go walk around on your own or with your friends for free. I'm telling you, you're going to save so much money by not signing up for these day trips with the ship. There are 2 exceptions to this rule though. So the first is that if you're in a country where you don't feel comfortable traveling by yourself, or if you just don't know what to do in that country, then maybe you should sign up for some of the day programs just so you get off the ship and know that you're going to be safe. So for me, this country where I wasn't quite comfortable planning for myself was Ghana, and my parents paid for a few day programs for me as a birthday present. Thanks, Mom and Dad, love you so much. And honestly, I was so glad that they did. So I got to do a food tour in the city of Accra, and I got to go to the Elmina castles. And if I hadn't, I probably wouldn't have done that on my own because transportation was tricky in this country, and it was hard to look up things to do beforehand. So if you're not comfortable, just sign up for a couple, but don't spend all of your money signing up for a day-by-day planned out trip because honestly it's more fun to travel with your friends anyway and explore and have adventures and find things along the way that spike your interest. My second exception to this rule is if there's a program offered by Semester at Sea that is an overnight program and sounds absolutely amazing and is not something you could do on your own, like a trip to the Galapagos Islands or a camel trek through the Sahara Desert. So if you want to sign up for a few of these trips, that's totally fine if you have the money to spare. Keep in mind that they can be $2,000 to $3,000, and that's a lot of money, but it might be a once-in-a-lifetime experience that you'll never get to have again. But if you do not have the money to spare, do not feel bad, because even if it seems like everyone's doing the special trip, like the special overnight on the ship, I can assure you that not everyone is doing it, and you can plan your own travel within country with the people who aren't doing it with you. I think that the most expensive trip offered on my voyage for overland travel was a $3,000 trip to Machu Picchu for just 5 days, and I knew that if I save that money now, I can spend it later in life and go there on my own and stay for longer and have just as good of a time. So you can save a ton of money by planning your own in-country travel. That is so important. Another interesting thing about these Semester at Sea run day programs is that oftentimes the people that buy them end up not wanting to do them and are trying to sell them or donate them anyway because they'd rather just travel with their friends and have an adventure instead of something being planned out for them. So if you keep an eye out at the reception desk, on deck 5 once you're on the ship. On the right side, there's the field office, and there's going to be a binder there and a box where people are either trying to sell their programs or literally give them away for free, and you can just pick up the slip of paper, write your name on it, and then it's literally yours for free, which is crazy because you could have spent money beforehand, but you just got a trip planned for you for free because you listened to my advice. Please do this. I went to a Morocco cooking class for free, and it was awesome, and it was so much fun, and everything tasted so great, but it tasted so much better because I knew that someone else had already paid for it and I didn't have to. Another one of my money-saving trips for in-country travel is that even when you're in country and you get off the ship for the day, you can always come back to sleep in your room regardless of what time of night it is. Now, you might have some trouble getting back if you're drunk, but besides that, you'll be able to get back and sleep in your room. I can make a whole video and that kind of stuff if you want, so let me know in the comments down below if you want to see a video on like semester C policies for being drunk and coming back to the ship, but let's just keep going. So if you've just been traveling around the city that we're docked in all day, you should just come back to the ship at night and sleep in your room instead of paying for a hotel, because you're not going to be missing out on anything anyway because you're going to be asleep. So save money. Sleep on the ship. You can always come back to the ship for meals throughout the day too to save money as well. So something that I would usually do is eat breakfast on the ship, go out and explore, get lunch out somewhere local, and then sometimes come back for dinner if we wanted to save money, and then change clothes and head back out to bars with my friends at night. So this is honestly a really good tip because food is like a sneaky way that you spend money in country that you don't really plan for, but it can rack up really fast. Also, pro tip, the food when you're in port is honestly so much better on the ship. And people don't know this right away, but when we started eating on the ship, we realized that it's so good when we're in port. Like there's literally someone making pasta in like a skillet and it smells like garlic and it's so good for dinners. So take advantage of that, eat on the ship when you can if you're not too far away to save some money. When you're in country, another good way to save money is to take buses or public transportation when you can into the city center instead of calling an Uber, and even walking when it's safe and possible. So the first country that I got to was Poland, and the first day we took an Uber and it took like 20 minutes to get to the city center, and the next day we found out that a bus leaves from the exact same spot like every hour and it's literally 20 cents. So take buses when you can, or if you have to take an Uber, at least split the cost with your friends. Also, if you can take a bus or a train when you're in country instead of flying somewhere, be sure to do that. Now, it might take a little longer, but my best tip is to take an overnight bus or an overnight train, because then you'll be on there and you'll get to a new place when you wake up in the morning. And it's not like you're gonna miss anything anyway, because again, you'll be asleep. And if you're gonna spend a night off the ship, which is so fun and everyone should do, be sure to stay in hostels or Airbnbs instead of hotels. All of the hostels and Airbnbs that I stayed in on my trip were literally $10 a night, and breakfast was usually included, and we got to meet locals and ask them for their best tips about where to go and where to eat, and we got to meet people from all over the world who were also staying there. And it was so fun. Hostels have a great atmosphere, and Airbnbs are usually so quaint and so cute and have great views overlooking the city. So do your research, find cheaper options, and be sure to stay there. For example, in Brazil, I stayed on an island in a treehouse hostel, and that was like the most amazing thing I ever did, and I wouldn't have done it if I hadn't looked for the hidden gems and had just stayed at like a regular old hotel. So do your research and save money and have a great time. Something else that I did before my trip was to look up the best free things to do in a city. So I make a list in like a Google Doc, and I include pictures and links and how much it was gonna cost if it was a low price, or I just say free if it was like a beach or something. And I'd put down, of course, beaches, because those are always free, the best street food to try that's cheap, the best museums that are free, monuments you can go to, good places for pictures, trendy places to walk around, shopping malls. It's all so fun and so cheap if you do it right. So research beforehand the city that you're going to, so at least you have a plan for the first day where you can walk around, go to the places that you want to see for sure, like churches or monuments, and do it for free. And of course, an easy way to save money is to bring your own snacks and not spend all your cash at the pool bar on the ship, where smoothies can be like $4. They're really good, but they're so expensive. And you can be so much happier if you bring your own snacks with you and don't have to spend all your hard-earned money just to have like a bar when you already have a protein bar in your bag. This will also save you money in country because you can bring these snacks with you when you're on a long train ride or a bus ride, so you don't have to buy overpriced ones at the terminal. Also, save money on the ship by doing your laundry yourself. I've mentioned this in literally all my other videos, but it costs $7 for the ship to wash a bag of laundry that's this big, and you can fit 2 pairs of jeans and a shirt in it, and it can take up to 5 days to get it back to you. And I know people who got their items shrunk or even lost in the ship laundry. So do your laundry yourself in your room. Bring a washing bag. I used a scrubba, I can link that down below for you guys, and a small bottle of detergent this big because you don't need that much. And then you can hang it up on the clothesline that's in your shower, or bring your own clothesline that's like a bungee cord and rig it up across your room, and you can save so much money by doing your own laundry on the ship. So those are my money saving tips for semester at sea. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know if they were helpful and if there's any other content you'd like to see from me, and like and subscribe to support my channel. I hope you guys are having a great day, and let me know what voyage you guys are going to go on if you have one planned or if you're thinking about it in the future. So I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.